Hottest crypto trade of the year is not Bitcoin, it's not Ether, it is XRP, the coin formerly known as Ripple, soaring more than 20% this year, becoming the third largest cryptocurrency out there, and there's big money behind this trade.
Has this started to step XRP up to the level of what's happening in the Bitcoin and ETH ETFs?
I think that we're moving in that direction, right? I think that there is a very interesting story playing out around stablecoins. XRP is one of the only chains that also has its own stablecoin, right? The RLUSD. And I think that that adds a new element to what they might be able to do in terms of building business around the chain. Don't forget, I think one of the most exciting prospects of these new rails is going to be the vast increase in the number of computer-to-computer transactions that are going to start to occur as we see more people get comfortable with Web3 models, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that, when you have your own stablecoin and you've got this chain that is already a public chain that has an independent verification network operating around it, this starts to become, I think, a pretty interesting business case, which is why we've been looking to partner with and doing more with Ripple over the last couple of years. Don't forget, they had some challenges here in the U.S. while that lawsuit was on.
Sure.
Outside the U.S., they've been continuing to build their business dramatically. We operate globally, so we've been engaged with them in Asia for some time, and now we're seeing that start to spread out to more regions of the world.
Massive update for XRP investors. We just had a record-breaking day on the XRP ETFs. And during today's episode, we're going to correlate some of these XRP ETF inflows, which much of the price action that we're experiencing today. We had the total volume passing 174 million when you include leveraged ETF products just during today's trading day alone. Hundreds of millions of dollars stepping into the crypto market and changing the way that Wall Street is interacting with the space. We're going to break all this down later on in today's episode, also highlighting how Google Trends is letting us know a major move could be on the horizon. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Good Evening Crypto, your favorite crypto news related channel. If you enjoy this content, smash that like button and subscribe, as you're going to get an update every single day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And to kick off today's episode, we're going to be covering some essential data every single one of our listeners should be aware of. XRP spot ETFs brought in consecutive days of $60 million in volume. We had $42 million worth of XRP added to the ETF inflows just during today's trading day alone. We also had leveraged XRP ETFs bringing in over $114 million worth of volume. This brings the total volume for XRP ETFs today at an astounding $174 million. Now, some of the top performers, we had Bitwise, Canary Capital, and Franklin Templeton creating the top three for XRP ETFs, guys. And if you're excited about this information, smash that like button. If you find this underwhelming, leave some comments underneath the video. But Johnny, my belief is that the storm is just beginning here in 2026 for the XRP ETFs. We just broke a record as US spot XRP ETFs have now logged 53 consecutive days of inflows since launch. This is in a market that's been extremely disappointing from a price action standpoint. Bitcoin at 93,000, Ethereum at 3,200. We finally have XRP up 21% on the 7-day, trading at about $2.27. But over these past 3 months, throughout October, November, and December, we watched Wall Street position themselves for a major breakout on the XRP price chart. And I think we're finally beginning to witness some of that breakout right here, right now. Now, as we're looking at the price of XRP, one thing is absolutely clear. We may be drawing a correlation between the 2017 breakout and what we're about to witness here in 2026. Now, I want to tie this into the ETF inflows because for the first time ever, we have brand new demand from Wall Street fueling some of the price action in the crypto space. And that's what I'm going to highlight right here. If XRP is to go to the fib level 3 on a scale of the 2014 breakout, we could be looking at a $29 XRP by the end of the year. And what this user did is they overlaid the fractals showing us what could be happening in 2026. Now, I've stated many times on this channel, my belief, we need to watch $5 XRP, then we need to get to an $8 XRP. And if we reach $12, I will consider that a massive victory. But on this channel, we take everybody's opinion into account. We showed blockchain backer being bearish. We had the dark pools showed by Cypress X. We're showing you these data and analytics right here. And we love to highlight the ISM in the business cycle, which is what I believe will be responsible for watching XRP's price chart do a 2, 3, 4x from where we are today, hopefully in a very short period of time. Now, guys, I want to hear from you. If you think XRP has already begun its massive euphoric breakout, smash that like button. If you think we're going lower and this is a fake out, leave a comment underneath the video. Now, I always want to give you guys the best insight and analysis possible. $2.70 is a range that will be make or break for the XRP price chart. And as I took you guys through the dark pool data earlier today on the live stream, what did we see was a key range for the dark pools? $2.68. So if we're able to pass 271 with volume, we could see a breakout all the way back up to 360 before we really hit any resistance here. And we've seen this breakout before with Ethereum Classic, Johnny. This asset was at $9, back trended to $3 all the way back in 2020. And after this wedge breakout, it was massive euphoric momentum reaching all the way up to $12. Well, if we get something similar on XRP, guys, $3.60 would be the minimum, but this could be the breakout that finally gets XRP to $5. That's the picture that I'm trying to outline here all throughout today's episode. So we got the record ETFs, we've got the falling wedge breakout, and finally, Bitcoin is also going to be performing well as the ISM is just beginning to kick in. So a lot of positive momentum in the crypto space. Johnny, what's your analysis here?
Couple things happening here. So first of all, we've got the restructuring of the debt cycle, and that doesn't happen overnight. That happens over, well, the entire year. So month over month, we're going to see different new money coming in. And as that new money comes in, the nice thing is usually there's a 30, 60, 90-day lag, and it starts going on the risk on assets, which in this case will be things like this. But the nice thing we also see coming in, so not only do we have, like, I think, more further money coming in the future, which is going to drive this, but we're also seeing liquidity, I think, coming in just from the back, that we're coming from the end of last year into the new year. And of course, front running the new news. We know that we're on the cusp of a vote for the Clarity Act, and that's going to be something that's also going to drive income in here. So for me, I'm kind of excited about it when I think about where we're moving. But again, for me, I stick to the fib levels. And for me right now, when you look at the fibs, realistically, $4, $6, and $8 are the ones on my chart that I'm looking at. To me, we need to get to those levels first before we even start thinking anything beyond that. And so that's where my mind is at. I'm looking at those levels. I'm looking at what are the things and liquidity drivers that are going to come in and help us get to those levels. And I see a lot of things on the horizon that I think are going to come in and bring us to those next levels. And we talked about some of them already. Clarity Act, restructuring of the debt, Fed cutting rates, so many different positive things happening there that I think is going to help drive us to get to those new fib levels in 2026.
And I think what's exciting, guys, is that we know 2026 is going to be the year where we get crypto regulation across the entire market. And here's some evidence of that in 2026. The Senate Banking Committee will vote on the Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill markup next Thursday, according to Senator Scott. It is happening. And this is also out of Fox Business reporter Eleanor Terry. But I wanted to reference some of the things that we talked about in the business cycle. A lot of people aren't privy to why the business cycle is so important for digital assets. Well, if you line up prior altcoin cycles, they are all correlated with the ISM. And that's what I'm going to show you in this next portion of the episode. If you're enjoying this content, smash that like button, leave your thoughts underneath the video. What is your 2026 price prediction for XRP? I'd love to hear what the community is thinking and what people think is realistic out there. Things could look a lot different over these next couple of months. I find it shocking how many analysts don't see this. Liquidity is king, and the overall liquidity position in the market is in. It looks nothing like any previous market top we have ever seen before. And as you guys can tell, typically the crypto market top correlates perfectly with the top of the ISM and the top of the Fed's net liquidity. Now, if you want to understand what drives financial markets, you have to look beyond just an arbitrary number. All previous market tops have been marked by the start of decreasing liquidity, which is the opposite of what we just got right here. And right now, we have only just reached the end of the decreasing liquidity phase. As we can see, both the Fed net liquidity and the global liquidity index are not topping out. They're not even close. Every time the GLI has broken into new highs, it has sustained its increase for over 18 months. That means when new money starts entering the market, it is sustained over a long period of time. Right now, it's only been increasing for about 9 months, and the Fed's net liquidity has just bottomed out at the halting of QT and now starting of non-QE, because the Federal Reserve will not come out and said they began expanding their balance sheet. Now, bear markets start when liquidity cycles begin contracting rather than expanding. And it's not just the main phase, the expansion gets underway. So tell me how we're going to enter a 12-month bear market when all the technicals are screaming a macro bottom and the liquidity situation is in the exact alignment with that. And that is the mindset that I've tried to share here on Good Evening Crypto. I believe we're going to get a passing of the Clarity Act. We're going to see major movement come into these altcoins. And from that point forward, Wall Street will become the biggest advocate of the crypto industry. If you guys agree with that, let us know. We're going to play this brief video. Here we go.
From when I first got into the space, we said we were going to front run Wall Street. That was 2013. We've always said it, and here they are. But I've been speaking to the sovereign wealth funds here this week, and they've all got crypto in their books now.
And they're openly talking about their allocations.
And not only that, but the Treasury Secretary of the United States, who was an ex-macro hedge fund manager, a friend of mine, he openly talks about how important it is. We've got Donald Trump talking about it. We've got everybody talking about it. We've got every financial institution building on stablecoin rails. We've got once the Clarity Act is passed, then all of the banks will start building out their crypto rails for everything.
And that's what we're on the precipice of, guys. The moment that the Clarity Act is passed, the vehicles will be onboarded onto the highway, and we're going to see digital assets be integrated in a way we have never seen before. Now, be sure to stick around until the end of the video because we're going to go over the Google Trends and how that tells us a major move for XRP may be on the horizon. But Johnny, what's your reaction to the liquidity cycle, the Clarity Act, and how this paints the picture for 2026?
I mean, it really, like, if there was a key in a door, I mean, that's just it. The Clarity Act is the key. I mean, I don't know how I sound like a broken record, Absi. And, you know, I'm going to go back to 1996 when the Telecom Act was the key that opened the door to the internet boom. I cannot help but feel that the Clarity Act is going to be the same key to open. And now you're not hearing it from me anymore. You're hearing it from everybody. Kevin O'Leary, Raoul Paul. You're hearing it from everybody. Sal Gilberti. They're all talking about the Clarity Act now will be the confidence maker, or the bill, I should say, that's going to basically say, guys, it's okay to invest in this space. Abs, and when that happens, my friend, you'll see money, you'll see storylines, you'll hear it about on TV all the time, because that will be the next phase. Crazy. And you just said something important. You said that when these things happen, when liquidity cycles come, they happen for 18 months. Well, usually when you see bull runs coming in, they're also in that same time period of that phrase, that long phrase. And we saw in 96, 97, it was almost a 3-year cycle of just constant speculative bull run. So I think what's going to happen is people are going to get so confused. First of all, everybody thinks it's a 4-year cycle. It's not. It's whatever the debt cycle is. This year, it's 5. The second thing is they're going to get confused between that kind of reset of that cycle and then this whole new idea of a speculative cycle. There is going to be an area of time where this whole thing is going to go to speculation first. Like, I know everybody thinks tomorrow we're going to get the Clarity Act and you're going to flip the switch and everything works. No, it doesn't work that way, Abs. Technology is being built as we speak. More money will come in. More development will occur. More adoption will happen in the next 3, 4, 5 years, right? To build up utility so this whole system in the world can run on it. However, the exciting part isn't that. The exciting part is going to be soon when the Clarity Act happens and all the speculative money gets to come in. And that's what's going to drive everything up. And we're all going to have a massive opportunity to take profits if we play this game properly.
This is what Raoul Paul warned us about nearly a year ago, Johnny, is that the debt cycle controls the crypto narrative, and they changed the debt cycle after the COVID crisis back in 2020. This trader on Twitter is also seeing the same things that we are. It looks like Raoul Paul was right all along. The debt cycle extension pushed the expected bull market from 2025 all the way until 2026. Assets like SUI, Solana, XRP, etc., traded sideways for much of 2025, repeatedly retesting their 2024 breakout levels while waiting for the next liquidity wave. Well, that wave looks like it's poised to arrive in 2026 and potentially all the way through until the end of 2027, guys. If you believe we're about to get a major move or we're in the process right now for XRP, smash that like button. If you disagree, leave your reason why underneath the video. We love to read the comments. We love to engage with the community. And this is another topic I think our listeners are going to find very interesting. XRP's Google Trends just hit a 32. Now, historically, this zone precedes a 1.5 to a 3x move on the XRP price chart. Google Trends measures attention, not price. 0 to 20 means nobody cares. 25 to 40, attention starts accelerating. 70 to 100, that is peak hype and peak risk on the price chart. Well, XRP is currently at a 32. That is early acceleration and nowhere near hype. What happened last time in July of 2025? The trends went from a 25 to a 100 rating in only 14 days, in which the price did a 1.5x, going from about $2.40 to $3.66 on the price chart. Now, it's important to note the fastest price move started after the trends crossed a 35 to a 40. That's where we are right now. Google Trends is currently sitting at a 32. The price, $2.40. The structure looks even stronger in 2025. So what usually comes next? If attention keeps rising, 10 to 15 days historically peaks attention, and the price tends to move thereafter when the indicator hits about a 70 to a 100. Realistic price prediction based on previous movements, $3.60, $4 to $5 based on a stronger move. And if we get major bullish momentum, we could see a $6 to $8 XRP. And that's where I'd advise everybody to hopefully they're leveraging ITrust to take advantage of those tax-free crypto gains. Now, when Google Trends approach 100, it's not an opportunity. That is when risk is at an all-time high. And so observing this data here in 2025, one thing is very clear, Johnny. It's a completely different ball game for the XRP price chart than it was just 8 weeks ago. It was downtrending, negative headlines, confusion in the crypto markets, but it seems like the bears have capitulated. And it looks like the bulls may be in control for the short term because of the ISM, because of the pricing into the business cycle, and because of all this bullish momentum we're anticipating, because it's an election year here in 2026. Does this mean anything to you looking at the Google Trends in 2025?
Absolutely. First of all, listen, let me just say this once for all. We all got it wrong in 2025. And Raul Paul, actually, kudos to him. He figured it out. You know, we all got fooled in the past because the ISM cycle lined up every single time with the halving cycle. So it just made sense. Like, oh, it's every 4 years. Well, no, we got it all wrong. Now we know. And I love charts like this kind of stuff, Abs. Why do I love this? Because everybody's trying to get an edge in the market, all right? Because it's a zero-sum game. But a chart like this gives you an advantage. And why do I say that? Well, look at that. When you go to 100, you know, like, okay, this is where everything's maxed out. All the excitement's in. There's no more money coming in. Everybody's in. And at that point, you can use indicators like this to say, okay, I need to start executing my profit plan, right? And so that's one of the things we encourage you. Everybody says, Johnny, what are you guys doing? Well, here's what we're doing, guys. We build a profit plan. We use Merlin, the app, to build it, to track our crypto, keep it safe and secure. That's why you're not on any exchanges. You don't have to worry about getting your wallet hacked when you're outside, right? So sign up for a free 30-day trial. Then here's the best part, Abs. So now you got phase one. Phase two, I'm going to be selling in my ITrust capital account. Now you're going to say, Johnny, why my ITrust? Well, I'll tell you why, guys. Because I don't want to pay taxes. So I have a Roth IRA. And the beautiful thing about that, Abs, is every single dollar that's sold, any profit made in there, as long as I hold it for 5 years and I don't take it out until I'm 59 and a half, which you all can do, all that growth is tax-free, my friends. So I can invest in crypto, I could do it tax-free, and I do it right here through iTrust Capital, guys. So click the link below, and Abs will tell you. I think they, Abs, what do they get if they sign up using our link?
Using the link below, guys, you can get $100 to kick off your account. And I think the best part about that, Johnny, is it doesn't work against your principal, meaning if max funding $7,000, this isn't going to work against that initial $7,000. I'd encourage everybody to click on the link below and create an account today so you can take advantage of tax-free crypto gains. One thing that we all know, Johnny, and I know I say it all the time, it's not how much you make, it is how much you keep. And if you create a structure for yourself where you're able to legally avoid paying some large taxes on the back end of these crypto gains, why wouldn't our listeners take advantage of that? So that's one of the reasons that we plug this project every day. Another reason that I'm so excited about for XRP investors, guys, is because when I look at these indicators, what's clear, Johnny? We're not in euphoria. We are not at a point where people should be worried about taking profit or worried about missing on gains. Instead, I think this is a comfortable time to create a profit plan for yourself, figure out how to build your portfolio, figure out what your long-term goals throughout 2026 may be, because in just a couple of months, I think that this market could look radically different.
And Abs, let me just build on one thing I want to say. I know what people are going to say. They're going to watch it and go, well, wait, Johnny, I'm never selling my stuff. I don't want to sell it. I'm just going to borrow against it. You could totally do that. But just understand this, guys. As we've learned, these markets move on liquidity cycles, which means they're going to go up as money comes in this year, but then they're going to come down and there'll be a bear market. And yes, you can hold if you want and not sell, but if you sell, you have that opportunity to then reinvest back and double and triple your bag. So people are going to, I don't want to sell. Okay, don't. But you may be missing an opportunity to buy back in. So that was, but I did find one thing interesting. I love that tweet you showed, Abs, where that guy literally talked about realistic ranges. And what did he say? $4 to $5 as a strong structure and 6 to 8. And what have we been preaching on this show? Between 4 and 8, we've literally been saying it. So I feel like we're in the right zone here, understanding where this is going to go. I think it's important as a user, set up realistic expectations, guys. That's the best thing you could do for your own health. Don't think, because Ab says it all the time. If you think it's going to 100, you're never going to sell at 8. And then when it gets to 8 and pulls back down, you're going to go, what was I thinking? So don't let that happen to you guys.
And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing for my own portfolio, Johnny. But I want to make one thing clear at the end of this episode. This is a very exciting time to be a crypto investor. And at some point, all of these projects, the ones that survive post-Clarity Act, are going to have rapid price appreciation. What those numbers are, it's anyone's best guess. But one thing I can promise you, we're going to be live at 11 a.m. and you're going to continue to get an afternoon update here on Good Evening Crypto. If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Good night.
So if you're looking to do the same strategies that we implement here on Good Evening Crypto, I would advise everybody sign up for Merlin and click on the ITrust Capital link below. Now, why did these two ideas play off one another? Merlin is going to allow our listeners to understand where they should be taking profit in this market, and ITrust is going to allow our listeners to take that profit tax-free through an IRA product. Now, that's not the best part about this. We are giving new clients a $100 sign-up bonus using the promo code GEC9. So I would encourage everybody, click on the link below the video, use promo code GEC9, and set yourself up for success during this crypto bull market.